8 stages, 10,000 metres of elevation gain within a distance of almost 1,000 kilometres. That's Peak Break, a tour of Austria for hobby cyclists. Every stage is a mountain stage, and many of these mountains are well known because of the Tour of Austria or the Giro d'Italia. Kronplatz, Großglockner, Kitzbühler Horn, the list is long and daunting.
No other amateur competition such as this gets as close to professional competition level.
The first stage of the 6th edition of Peak Break already offers some highlights for every cyclist. It starts in Triplach, close to Hermagor in Carinthia, and leads to Sella Nevea in Italy, well known from the Giro, before continuing to Nassfeld back in Austria. New at this first stage for the first time, the Alp Adria Bike Marathon is part of Peak Break 2013.
Ich bin eigentlich recht zufällig auf die Seite des Veranstalters gestoßen.
By coincidence, I managed to come across the website of the organisers to find out about the first edition of the Bike Marathon.
Die italienische Seite, und es hat mich immer schon gereizt, einmal die Strecke zum Fahren, und deshalb habe ich die Chance ergriffen und habe mich jetzt am Start gestellt.
The race gets rolling. The field arrives in Hermagor. No matter if you're a Peak Break or Alp Adria competitor, the route is the same for both. At the end of Hermagor, the race officially kicks off, and only after a couple of metres, Georg Bohobadowski starts his first attack. He only takes part in the bike marathon. And shortly after that, Stefan Wimmer from Vienna takes the lead in the Geltal Valley and tries to extend it, but he's caught quickly. In the rear of the field, the pace is just a little bit more comfortable. For the 120 Peak Break competitors, it's another 7 stages to go. While the back of the field was still in Geltal Valley, the leaders were already passing the border to Italy in the direction of Lake del Pedril on the Slovenian border. The next elevation is Sella Nevea, the spot where a couple of weeks before the Giro d'Italia passed by. The leading group was fast, and until the uphill to Nassfeld, Georg Bojanowski finally gets away and rides to an easy victory at the Alp Adria Marathon. Caroline Kopiatz from Hersching in Germany leads in the women's category by over 10 minutes. The route leads from the idyllic alpine pastures of Friaul back in the direction of Austria over to Nassfeld. From Nassfeld, it was only a short descent to the finish in Triplach, and after 122 kilometres, Georg Bojanowski wins the Alp Adria Marathon in a time of 3 hours and 41 minutes. Under 2 minutes behind him, the German Christoph Skupke, and 4 minutes behind the third-ranked Karol Belzig. The concept of combining the Peak Break stage race with the Alp Adria Marathon has worked, and it was time for all Peak Break Marathon participants to think about the next stage and the Dolomites. The route through the Dolomites on day 2 is very picturesque, but with 200 kilometres of distance, it's extremely tough too. The field rolls through the Lesachach Valley. At the end of this passage, there are 2 not-so-comfortable mountain classifications at the Falzargo and Vaperola Pass.
We've known each other for a long time from when we were playing football together. I was training with them when they were still kids. Now as 2 of them have torn their ligaments and stopped playing football, they wanted a new challenge. That's when I suggested cycling, and it was a great challenge to take part in Peak Break, and they'll manage for sure.
They're not very experienced cyclists?
No, 2 of them only trained for 6 weeks and only rode 1,000 kilometres.
In their whole life?
Yes, in their life before Peak Break.
There are 3 riders in the lead group: the Dutchman David de Graaf, Stefan Wimmer from Vienna and Peter Havas from Hungary, all well known from previous years. The leading team quickly gained an advantage of 5 minutes. Further back in the field, it's not so easy to figure out who are the favourites. Here in the Eastern Tyrol, it's already about 30 degrees Celsius, but the beautiful landscape compensates for the hard work.
I'm from northern Germany. We don't have mountains. That's why I'm going to the mountains once a year and enjoy this landscape and set my boundaries. If it was too easy, I wouldn't be here. It's exhausting, really exhausting, but it is fun every day to ride up to the mountains with nice people. I get up in the morning and I'm looking forward to going on the bike. That's what I like about it.
Das ist echt cool.
In the lead we have Karl Berzik from Klagenfurt, who joined Skupke. Together they ride over the Falzarego Pass at 2,100 metres and descend to Bruneck in Val Pusteria, where they arrive after 6 hours. Christoph Skupke now leads the overall classification, 2 minutes and 17 seconds ahead of Karl Berzik.
The way this race develops is all about victory for me. The single time trial at Kronplatz and especially the mountain top finish at Kitzbühelhorn will be more important than the last 2 normal stages.
The single time trial at Kronplatz takes place at a legendary 26% climb, and part of the route is gravelled.
I've got no idea what to expect, but one thing is for sure. It will be really tough. I can't wait.
The route leads us from Bruneck over the Furkel Pass to Kronplatz at 2,275 metres. The Furkel Pass alone is partly 15% steep, but very beautiful with its scenery. Shortly after passing the Furkel Pass, the gravel starts. As the Giro wasn't passing this bit of the stage, it wasn't in good condition. A bit of a challenge for the cycling technique to stay in the saddle at a 20% climb or more. The memorial plaque to the Giro d'Italia legends provides the field with motivation. Herbert Arnhoff from Vienna rides the steepest passage of Kronplatz, which at 26% takes everything from the rider and the bike. They'll arrive in Kronplatz with hearts racing. Karl Berzik was the fastest in 1 hour and 20 minutes, having given everything. He was almost 2 minutes faster than Christoph Skupke, whose overall lead is now minimised to 23 seconds. Instead of a decider here, the race only got tighter. Finally, everyone else arrives at the finish, including rookie Philipp Sterzenbach, who was highly surprised to be there.
Oh, kann ich aufhören hier?
Yeah. Oh. So, am I done here? How do we get down? I feel good.
Ich fühle mich gut.
I've done loads of extreme competitions, Botstal Valley Marathon or Ironman. It all works the same. On one day you fight, you give everything, but then you have time to recover. But here, you have to sit in the saddle for ages. You have to attack and counter-attack. You have to recover from it, and on the next day it starts again from scratch.
As this was a short single time trial stage, everyone took the opportunity of a good rest. A last check on the bikes to see if they'd survived the gravel, and peak break continued from Bruneck to Austria to Großkirchhain. Part of the field was the German Hans Pammerger, who at 75 years old was the oldest rider.
Die Alpen besser. Also die Alpen, das hat mich
The Alps are so fascinating, and I really enjoyed going uphill as we were not going too fast. I really want to see the scenery and not just ride. I forget about the exertions pretty easily, but will never forget what I've seen. For me, that's the most important thing.
Aber das Erlebte, das behält man. Und das ist wichtig.
The route along Valpasteria was a spectacular experience, but Peak Break was still a stage race. The top favourites take the stage fairly easily, but ahead of them was Herbert Arnhoff from Vienna, a great time trial rider who does enjoy this fairly flat stage. He was chasing Werner Grünkasser from Belfeld, Germany, who held the lead over the 15% climb to Eiselberg to arrive in Großkirchheim first.
Well, at the 110-kilometre mark I was done, but wow, that was awesome.
Daily drama.
Get the wheels off, start taking everything out.
Behind-the-scene events.
A lot of new cars, people checking things out. You got the track over here, you got the hot pits over there.
Never-before-seen footage.
Just so freaking fun.
Dive deeper into the world of Formula Drift.
Where we can get, boys.
Featuring only the most electrifying and phenomenal moments. Formula Drift Insider 2015 on Edge Sport. This is the world's toughest and most famous jet ski race.
You're going to break your boat or you're going to break a leg.
An annual event that draws up to 45,000 people in this 4-day festival.
This is the hardest race of all time.
Daily morning to night celebration with international celebrities. H2O UIM AVP World Championship, offshore on Edge Sport. No brakes.
So here we go.
No gears.
Ready to move.
And no fear. Welcome to the world of Speedway. Speedway Grand Prix on Edge Sport.
The highest mountain in Austria, Großklockner, is the highlight of the week for many. Starting in Großkirchheim, the field starts slowly in the direction of Heiligenblut and then on to the Großklockner. Arriving in Heiligenblut, the field parts into little groups. From the start, they've already done 1,500 meters of climbing. It's important to limit the energy they've used because the Großklockner is still ahead. After only a few meters, both favourites for the overall win, Karl Brelstig and Christoph Skutka, break away from the field and lead together. Not sure if one or the other would dare an attack just yet at the Fuscherol, the second mountain classification before the Glockner, with still 82 kilometers of distance to go to the finish.
I get on my bike in the morning and I just want to manage it, and it's great when it works out. It's fun because people stick together, they ride together. It's certainly a pleasure, and we talk about passion all the time. We've experienced that after 2-3 days the riders suddenly realise how much they're capable of. That motivates them and makes it easier for the rest of the week.
Motivation und wird umso leichter den Rest der Woche.
What goes up must come down. The descent from the Großklockner is one of the most beautiful in the Alps. 32 kilometers to roll down to Bruck in Pinzgau. There's still many kilometers to go on the stage, passing Lake Zal and Mire Alm in the direction of Hochkönig Mountain. As the Großklockner climb wasn't enough already, there were two more tricky climbs to come, Filzsattel and Dietner Sattel. We asked the five-time peak break finisher Wilco Lang what peak break means to him.
Du kommst hin, gibst deine Sachen ab, kümmerst dich im Grunde genommen nur noch mit Radfahren.
You get here, leave your belongings, and you only care about your bike. You let go. I don't even know what day it is. You get up in the morning and you prepare yourself to simply go cycling, and I can just switch off.
Vollkommen abgeschaltet, ne?
The Kitzbühel Horn wasn't only the deciding mountain for the Tour of Austria, it was also the decider for the Peak Break 2013. A tough climb on day 6.
It's a challenge. You ask yourself every day, can you do it another day and another day and another day? Because we are not in a good shape like most of the other, so we do the best we can and hang on. It's a beautiful view and beautiful race, so happy people, no problem.
The overall leader, Christoph Skupka, in bib 39, tries to attack but soon caught. Belzig, wearing bib 24, right in the field, still keeps his chance of a victory. Everything looked like a showdown for the Kitzbühel Horn. Skupka only leading by 23 seconds. But suddenly, at a descent, there were little gaps in the field, and Belzig rolls away. The cyclist from Klagenfurt arrives at the Kitzbühel Horn on his own with a 3-minute lead. Skupka is not supported by the group and can't catch up to fill the gap. Only now he tries to make the best of it so he can attack later over the next few days. At the Kitzbühel Horn, everyone will be on their own anyway. The climb of 22.4% is waiting, painful for everyone. Belzig rides at a constant speed. Skupka can't get closer. This will be a big win for Belzig, who rode the stage from Bischofshofen in 3 hours and 30 minutes. ...179 kilometres and 3 hard mountains to go on the way to Bad Kleinkirchheim. Karl Belzig was now the one to be chased, but with a 3-minute lead, he could start this stage with confidence. One interesting scene is Skupka's attack and the counter-attack, while Peter Paulus comes from behind and overtakes his opponents. He knows Belzig wouldn't come after him. Paulus catches up with Wimmer and Löhr and rolls on his own over the Silk Pass in the direction of Carinthia. Heading in the direction of Turcher Höhe, Skupka tries to escape, but Belzig follows and catches him. Tough Peter Paulus already climbs the Turcher Höhe and is victorious in Bad Kleinkirchheim after 130 kilometres on his own. Bad Kleinkirchheim in the morning. One last time to pump up the wheels. It was the last day and it'll be another tough one. For some of the cyclists, it'll be a day of up to 7.5 hours. Climbing the last mountains, some, like Finn Bohm here, took time to enjoy the beautiful scenery. Skupka and Belzig are setting the speed. Moraes and Christen are, as usual, a little way behind. These four are proven to be the best Peak Break 2013 competitors. When it comes to landscape, the Nockberg stunned everyone, even though every day and stage had had its highlights.
Cycling for 8 days will give you the chance to show what you're capable of or not. That's what you train for, to push your boundaries and to test them. I think peak break is the ideal opportunity.
The Skistelscharte, the second to last 2,000-metre mountain of the week. After that, there's a short descent before the climb of the Eistelhöhe, the last mountain of over 2,000 metres of the peak break. Eistelhöhe is reached. There's a quick photo and the ride goes on in the direction of Lake Milchstadt. Those who thought it was all over are proven wrong. In the rear of the field, Jan Gradisch from Team Cyberman gives everything to stay in the field. In the leading group, Skupka and Belzig arrive in the finish in Trippelach, close to Hermagor. Skupka accelerates away and Belzig lets him win the stage, knowing his own overall win of the Tour is secure.
I'm glad I didn't cause an accident or fall. Even though it's not realistically going to happen the closer you get to the finish, more and more you start thinking that something could happen, like an accident or a breakdown. I'm really happy, it was all good. I also had the feeling there wasn't enough air in my rear tyre, but I was wrong, fortunately. What a great competition. I'm satisfied. I made a big mistake 2 days ago. That's when 1 second of thinking cost me 4 minutes of deficit. Carl is very strong and these kind of mistakes won't be forgiven. Otherwise it would have been a little more exciting today.
And so an amazing peak break week draws to a close. A week with 2 happy winners and many more who were victorious over themselves and many Austrian and Italian mountains.